Hello guys, today I'm going to show you my presentation called the Cyber Development Sandbox Plan. So I made the presentation by myself. So here's my outline. So we're going to have a look overview, requirements to set up the labs, configuration of virtual machines, set up and enable FTP server, installation of Splunk Enterprise, installing a license in Splunk Enterprise, monitor FTP logs from Windows machine and add the trigger alert, run an exploit flood attack list of the user and the passwords to FTP server using Hydra on Linux, identify and respond to FTP attack, block the suspicious attacker IP address, post-incident document review, and questions and any feedbacks and thoughts. So today we're going to simulate a test lab of flood FTP login attempts. A scenario is a hacker trying to log into the victim's computer using flood attacks with multiple command usernames and passwords to bypass the FTP login authentications. If hacker succeeded to steal sensitive files from FTP server after bypassing brute force, it is breach and can damage with the loss of trust. So how can we resolve the problem? So here are the requirements. To set up a virtual machine lab, you need a good powered laptop or PC with at least 60 GB memory RAM, just in case, or 8 GB RAM, I don't know, is minimum requirement. But if you don't have any, if you don't have running a laptop or desktop good or anything else, so use any like Amazon Web Services or Azure Labs, for example, or at the school of the computers. VirtualBox have software to host two virtual machines. It's very open source. Isolate network adapter for both virtual machines to use internal network adapter inside the virtual machines only. Windows 7 virtual machines as victim machine cost like free, but not technically. It's commercial license with 30 days grace period, full features access unless valid protected key installed. Kill Linux virtual machines attack a machine, free open source. FTP features of Windows, Hydra brute force tool with Linux, cost free open source. Sim2, let's say example Splunk to analyze logs. Splunk costs like approximately $1,800 per annually for unlimited. Free license 500 megabytes per day, enterprise license at 10 gigabytes per day, Triware, enterprise 60 days, or any similar assigned tools. So first we will configure a RAM memory size for two virtual machines, which is 2 gigabytes each virtual machine, bringing total 4 gigabytes RAMs. And we will isolate both virtual machines to use the same internal network, so ensure it is sandbox and protected. Only two machines will connect each other on VirtualBox for Windows 7 and Kali Linux. I have this setting up configurations of virtual machines. Ensure that both machines are turned on in VirtualBox. Set up and enable FTP server. To enable FTP server in Windows 7, make sure the FTP FTP server is enabled. If you're not sure to find, you can just go to Start button, type turn Windows feature on off, and make sure that FTP server is checked to install feature before proceeding. So after installing FTP server, sometimes the computer may require to restart the computer, so you have to, So once the FTP server is installed, open ISS Manager and right-click from mouse. You see the screenshot to select the FTP sites. Just right-click the sites, expanded it. So set up a configure of FTP site name and select the directory host on server. For example, I selected the PPT images like PowerPoint images. Configure bindings and SSL for step 2. And finally, step 3, finally, authentications and settings to restrict the permissions. Important to disable anonymous permissions to remove a public access, restrict, limit, allow access to specified users. Once the FTP service is done, the server is enabled, so we can test to log in the FTP with admin authentications. If it's successful, then admin can see the files list and can write it or read the files. So here's the IP address and port address used. Yeah. Now we're gonna install Splunk Enterprise. So to install Splunk Enterprise in a computer, well, I don't know. For experts to ensure to verify executable is signed and there's no malware, once it's clean, double click to executable to install onto your computer. Once you open the Splunk installations, accept the yearly agreement and create an admin user account. It doesn't have to be with the Windows Authentication login. Same. Once Splunk Enterprise has been successfully installed on the computer, so please log in with your own admin account to the Splunk Enterprise. To install a license, please go to Settings, Licensing, Add License, Browse. You can select the file or just copy and paste the license XML directly. Once the license file is applied, you have to restart the Splunk Enterprise to apply it. And you can see that it is activated. To monitor FTP logs, you can just go to Splunk Enterprise Home Launcher, select Add Data Monitor, select Files Directories. You can see the screenshots right over there on right. So you just go all the way next until you see on, well, submit button on a review. Once you review everything, so just hit the start searching. You can see the log results. You can add a letter trigger from search query on FTP log monitoring. Please note only enterprise license can make alert, not free trial license. You can set the title, set the versions in the certain app, alert type real time, and so on. It's very important. To simulate the attack to Windows 7, FTP load authentication from Kali Linux. Make sure just to verify the between both machines, so Windows 7 and the Kali Linux. Generate the usernames and passwords of listed text files in Kali Linux. Just generate any whatever usernames and then passwords. See the screenshots example from left. And just execute to do Hydra. After that is done. And see the notes. Once it's executed, so I left it generate the correctly created credentials, username and password, so this is successful. Blocks the suspicious attacker IP. So once the attacker has launched the FTP authentications, we can see that we already created the alert, so we can see the screenshots below. Yeah, just go to activate alerts and trigger alerts. To analyze the logs and review it, we can click View Results and Actions from Splunk Enterprise. Yeah. And you can see we can identify there says attacker 10.1.135 is a source, victim 10.1.125, and FT port is 21, and we can see it pass. So after identifying and responding to FT blocks, we just block to the IP address. Isolate network account if emergency. And clearly said, you're banned, have a good day. So after attacker is stopped and attacker IP address blocked, so we learned valuable lessons. So to make a future improvements, enable IDS detections, limit login attempts using account lockout policies, automatically ban the IP address after multiple login attempts, continue monitor logs, enforce strong password policies, restrict FTP access, and so on. So any questions, thoughts, or feedbacks? So That's all today. So this is Martino signing off.